Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to continue our look at all the cards from Rapid Strike and Single Strike Master, what is going to be battle styles over here. And we're into the grouping stage, we're into cards that are unlikely to take the metagame by storm. However, there may well be some hidden gems in here. Now, today we're going to be focusing on Single Strike Master, and our translations come from the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net. And if you're not checking Cerebi.net on a regular basis, might I politely suggest that you do so, because it's an awesome website. It genuinely is like an everyday thing. I mean, it's partly my Pokemon obsession with TCG, VG, etc. Like, even in the evenings, I'm just playing Pokemon games an awful lot, but Cerebi's a great website. So we're going to go in order, and we're going to start off with Cacturne. Now, Cacturne comes in at 120 HP for a stage 1, and I've talked time and time again about the 120-130 divide. This is the wrong side. And weakness to fire is not ideal because of all those welded X, etc. But you will survive a hit from a Volcanion that just has a welder, so that's for fire. I'm looking for over 100, so you can survive that high heat blast from a Volcanion. First attack, you switch your opponent's active with one of their bench, but we've seen a million attacks like this over the years that also do special conditions, damage, etc. Just pulling somebody active isn't good enough. It's rotated now, but an example I often give is the Oricorio from Celestial Storm that does this with Burn and Confusion as a basic Pokemon, which shows you this ain't good enough. But then for 1 Grass Energy, you do 60 damage, not good. If this Pokemon has Darkness Energy attached, you do 70 more damage. And I tell you what, 130 damage for 2 energies, not bad. It is an awkward energy combination that just isn't really seeing play at the moment. And we don't have great, for Grass Energy you can play that new Cherrim, which is awesome. But then you've got to get the Darkness Energy on, and it's just, if you're playing a Grass deck and you can afford to play a couple Darkness Energy, it's a stage 1 and it's awkward, but 130 for 2 energy shouldn't be slept on. Staying in Grass, we've got Vivillon. And Vivillon, I mean, look, I told you I didn't like 120 on a stage 1. I definitely don't like it on a stage 2. Same weakness to fire, again, will survive a hit from Volcanion. If there's no other energy on the field, if there's 4 energy total, then gutted. The thing about Vivillon is the free energy 90 damage on a stage 2, nobody's getting excited about. That is just an out-and-out bad attack. It's not good. Don't even give it the time of day. Free energy on a stage 2 and you're only doing 90 damage? Just no. But 1 energy, heal all damage from 2 of your benched Pokemon. And that's alright. I mean, we saw a promo Leafeon not too long ago that's got a very similar attack, but it heals all damage from 1 of your bench Pokemon. And that's still not particularly amazing. It's still not something I'm totally in love with, but it's not out and out garbage. The thing is, this is one of those attacks where, like, if you give me this attack on a basic Pokemon for a single energy, I'm still not out and out loving it because I'm giving up my attack for the turn to heal 2 of my bench Pokemon, but it might be worth it. But if you give me this attack on a stage 2 Pokemon, no, absolutely not. Who is playing this stage 2 Vivillon, bearing in mind the attack that damages is garbage? Who is playing this stage 2 Vivillon just in case, in the middle of the game, they can spend their attack healing 2 of their bench? No. Moving over into Lightning, we've got Electivire here. And we've got 140 HP, which is nice for a stage 1. But we've got a weakness to fighting, which means it shares a weakness with all kinds of stuff like Eternatus, VMAX, Crobat, etc. Which means your opponent is going to be, well, no, that's a lie. But there are going to be enough people out there that are playing fighting, whether as a deck in and of itself or whether just teching some fighting stuff in, that you are going to have to worry a little bit about it. And this doesn't make me happy, not even a little bit. But I do like that you can attack for a triple acceleration energy. I like having a single energy attack. The problem is that single energy attack, the triple acceleration energy attack, does 60 damage, and then you flip a coin, and if heads, you do 30 more damage, which means you're doing 90. But you only do 90 if you flip a heads. If you flip tails, you're doing 60. So as much as I like having a single energy attack, it's only a single energy attack if you have a triple acceleration energy. The main Pokemon you want to hit for weakness is Talonflame, which comes in at 190, so you're actually 10 damage short even with the weakness. And yeah, fine, you can use Glimwood Tangle to flip a heads, but if you're telling me that I've got to use a triple acceleration energy and flip a heads, and I'm still not getting a KO on the most relevant weak Pokemon out there, I'm afraid I can't recommend it. 4 energy, 180 damage, can't use the attack next turn. It's called a Lightning Slam according to Joe. And on the one hand, 180 damage on a single prize Pokemon, yes. On the other hand, 4 energy, go away, leave me alone. Can't justify it. Cannot justify it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not one I can ever really see myself playing. I mean, there's the Boltund from Sword and Shield, which for 3 energy does 160 in Cant Attack. And okay, it's got 20 less HP and it does 20 less damage. But it's 1 less energy, it's got free retreat, so I'm sorry. 180 will get a Crobat, whereas Boltund will be a tiny bit short. But you'll still get Dedenne, you'll still get the vast majority of single prize Pokemon. I don't think the fact that it will also get a Crobat is worth swapping out Boltund for Electivire. If you're going to be playing a Stage 1 Lightning single prize Pokemon, play Boltund, would ya? One of the most relevant Pokemon you're going to be wanting to knock out is Obstagoon, because that blocks basic Pokemon, and Obstagoon will easily be KO'd by Boltund, so no, don't play Electivire. Moving over into Psychic, we have got Grumpig. Now, Grumpig has got art by Tomokazu Kamiya, and this really interests me, because some people love Kamiya's art and some people really don't like it. I'm generally not a fan, but I do appreciate how stylized it is, and I know I've got a bunch of friends that adore the artwork, so whenever I see Kamiya's art coming along, even though I'm not the biggest fan, I always get very happy for my friends who are. What does Grumpig do? Well, we've got 130 on a stage 1, like we've said, which is lovely. But you have a weakness to Darkness, which is Eternatus, but it's also Eternatus' friends like Spiritomb, so gutted, I suppose. First attack, 2 energy, 30 damage plus Confusion. No. If this was a single energy, maybe. But it's not, it's 2 energy. An example I use a lot because it's a card that I really liked was the Xurkitree from Forbidden Light that for 1 energy did 20 damage plus Confusion. Well, this is 2 and it was on a basic Pokemon. If you're telling me I'm up to a stage 1, I'm adding a second energy and I'm only doing 10 more damage, again, we've seen enough Pokemon in the past that show me this isn't good enough. 3 energy, 120 damage. And essentially, right, when I'm looking at these non-GX Pokemon like this, and I'm not putting any special conditions on, and I'm not doing anything fancy, I'm just damaging, I'm going, right, it's a stage 1, it's a free energy, what is the most relevant multiple prize Pokemon I'm looking to hunt down here? For Grumpig, it's Mewtwo and Mew. And I look at Mewtwo and Mew and I go, yeah, I'm not getting a KO. And that's it. At that moment, I'm not playing this card. Because it's a stage 1, which is moderately awkward. It's free energy, which is pretty gosh darn awkward, especially considering Malamar's gone and accelerating energy to Psychic is not exactly the easiest thing ever. And now you're telling me I'm not even getting a straight one-hit KO on a Mewtwo and Mew? And I just go, no. And like literally, this is at the point where I just go, yeah, I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this card. Sorry, Grumpig. Now, Chimecho here. Now, I know there's a lovely person over on my Patreon, patreon.com/PTCG Radio, who loves Chimecho. So again, every time I see a new Chimecho card, I'm like, yay! And then, inevitably, I read the Chimecho card, and I just feel sorry for my lovely Patreon follower, because you know what? Chimecho isn't good. Sorry, it's Noah Z. I don't know why I didn't actually name him. Noah Z loves Chimecho. Sorry, Noah. Now here we got the terrible combination of 70 HP and a weakness to Darkness, which is actually genuinely super relevant because it means that a Spiritomb with a single damage counter on, 40 damage, 80 double for weakness, that's a problem. And then we got 1 colorless energy. Search your deck for a basic energy and put it into your hand. That's it. That's all it does. It's Energy Spinner without the on your first turn going second bonus when you get to get free energy. Who is using an attack to search out an energy? Nobody is. This is a bad attack. 1 colorless energy, 20 damage plus sleep, and I'll tell you what, this I'm not so upset by. You see, I told you about Grumpig, and then I immediately just went, I want Circuitry. Well, this is a basic Pokemon, single energy, special condition with a little bit of damage. And don't forget, at the moment, we've got Slumbering Forest. Now, that's going to rotate out when we hit end of August, beginning of September, but we're not there yet. And this set releases in March for us, so we're not, we're going to have like 5-6 months. And that says that if a Pokemon is asleep between turns, they got to flip 2 heads to wake up. Now, most decks are playing a lot of Switch right now, so maybe it's not going to be terribly relevant, but I tell you this, single energy basic, especially when it's a colorless energy and can be put into any deck, that always piques my interest. You're telling me we've got single energy, colorless, on a basic, providing sleep in a format with Glimwood Tangle? I don't love Chimecho here, but I absolutely am telling you that do be aware of this second attack. This could be a really cheeky card to take into some decks if you're playing Slumbering Forest. Keep it in mind, it might be the best, no, but it might be like in the top 2 or 3 cards we're looking at in this video. Moving over into fighting, we've got Gliscor. Now, Gliscor I'm loving. Now, I'm not loving 120 HP. I've said I want 130 on a stage 1. But a grass weakness means very little relevant is hitting it for weakness. And as a fighting Pokemon, I'm hitting weakness on Eternatus. I'm hitting weakness on Pikachu and Zekrom. I've got Karate Belt to reduce my attack cost if I'm behind on prizes. I've got Martial Arts Dojo to do extra damage. There is a lot to love about being a fighting Pokemon. Now, the second attack here, free energy, 90 damage, no. I am fully aware that it works with Twin Energy, and I am fully aware that it does enough to get a one-hit kill on a Crobat V because of the weakness. But there are better fighting Pokemon out there. Do not play it for the second attack. As for the first attack, Acrobatics, flip 2 coins. This attack does 40 more damage for each heads. So, flip 2 heads, do 100 damage. Here's what I can tell you about Gliscor. If you really want a fighting Pokemon for your deck, but you really don't want to play fighting energy, this is a nice emergency attacker. Now, Gliscor is flippy, so I'm not actually recommending that you all build a Gliscor deck or anything stupid like that, but I'm telling you this. If you flip double heads, you're getting a one-hit KO on a Crobat, and you're getting a one-hit KO on a Dedenne. And if you add a Vitality Band, you're getting a one-hit KO on an Eternatus V, not a V Max. You are going to still be short of getting a Pikachu and Zekrom, but if you can find a way to add 10 more damage, you'll get a KO on them as well. And maybe this could end up working. You can use it for a Twin Energy, or you can use it for a Welder, or any energy acceleration will do. And I'm not saying it's great, but if you really want a fighting type attacker for colorless energy, you can do a lot worse than Gliscor. Over in darkness, we've got ourselves a new Honchkrow. And now this does have 130, so we're happy. Weakness to lightning, not ideal. I mean, stuff like Pikachu and Zekrom will one-hit KO you fairly easily anyway, but it opens you up to like a super easy KO with Boltund, which I'm not loving. But it's got an ability that says it can't be put to sleep in your face, Chimecho. It's not an amazing ability because sleep is not a huge part of the metagame right now. There aren't really any big decks that we're expecting to see in tournaments that actually rely on sleep. But I'll tell you something for nothing. You never know. You never know who is actually going to turn around and play some weird sleep deck. And there's always somebody at tournaments playing weird decks relying on stuff like sleep that you just did not see coming. And when you're playing against those decks, you're going to love having an ability like this. But is it actually worth playing as an attacker? 1 darkness, 2 colorless energy, 80 damage base. If your opponent's active Pokemon has a special energy attached, you do 80 more damage. So you're talking 160 damage for a darkness double colorless. My issues here are essentially threefold. Number 1, you're not actually doing enough damage. Like 160 is fine, and it will get the majority of single prize Pokemon, but it's not getting multiple prize Pokemon. You're not going to get Dedenne because they're not going to have a special energy attached. You're not going to get Oricorio even though you're hitting it for weakness because they're not going to have a special energy attached, and they don't have 160, they have 170. If they had 160, you would, but they don't have 160, they have 170. So you're not really doing enough damage. Then you've got the attack cost, which is a darkness double colorless, but although you can use twin energy, you still need a darkness there as well, and that's going to be awkward to get on there. So it's going to be kind of annoying actually getting the energy on. And thirdly, your opponent can play around it, which sucks, but it's true. Like, in a Pikachu and Zekrom deck, they can just not attach speed energy and they'll be fine. Or they can attach speed energy and go, 160 still isn't enough. My point is, although this looks on the face of it like a really good Pokemon, 160 damage is not good enough when you cannot rely on your opponent having a special energy. I showed you that Boltund earlier. Boltund for free energy just does 160. Now that is for 2 lightning, 1 colorless rather than 1 darkness, 2 colorless, and the more colorless the better for tech ability, but still, I'm not buying it. And the final card here is maybe the least interesting one among them. It is a Fearow with 90 HP, which is terrible for a stage 1, although does actually mean it's terrible enough that Level Ball, which is now back, will allow you to search it out for what it's worth. Although the resistance to fighting still won't save it from an Excadrill, so ha! And the weakness to lightning, I mean, look, you got 90 HP, don't worry about your weakness, it's terrible. 1 attack on a colorless Pokemon, 70 damage. And here's the messed up thing here. I actually kind of like this. Now, I don't like that it's on a stage 1. The stage 1 terrifies me. But we're talking free retreat. And 70 damage is enough to get a KO on a Jirachi, which sees a huge amount of play. And it's enough to get a KO on a Galarian Zigzagoon, which sees a huge amount of play. And it's enough to get a KO on the vast majority of evolving basic Pokemon. And if you go first, you're going to get an attack before they get a chance to evolve. And powerful colorless energy will put you up to 90, which means anything that is searchable with Level Ball will go down, including things like Chinchino, which still sees quite a bit of play. And actually, I want to hate this card. I want to look at this card and go, it's a stage 1 colorless Pokemon with 90 HP that's got 1 vanilla attack. I want to despise it. I want to shout out how terrible it is. But I look at it and I just go, you know what? I don't hate this. I think 70 damage for a single colorless energy is really good. And I think the fact that it can be put into any deck whatsoever, an attack for a single colorless energy is nice. I think the fact that it's got free retreat is really good. And I don't know if anyone's actually going to make deck space for it. But I think if they do, they're going to get a surprisingly large amount of cheeky KOs. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all the other cards from Single Strike Master. And now it's over to you guys. Which of these do you think are going to be really good? Which of these do you think have potential? And which of these do you think are, as I might put it, trash garbage? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.